For 20 long years, the path taken by Pisces was a road dotted with invisible challenges, a silent journey of overcoming. While many around him seemed to glide smoothly through a sea of opportunities and accomplishments, the sign of Pisces often moved against the current, facing hidden tides that required resilience beyond ordinary comprehension. This period, marked by trials, is now in its final phase, dissolving to make way for a new era. For those with the Piscean soul, a time of glory, deep wisdom and abundance is about to blossom. It is an invitation to flourish, to reap the fruits of extraordinary perseverance. The difficulties experienced were in fact valuable lessons, forging a stronger, more aware and more prepared spirit to receive the good that the universe has in store for them. With the end of this cycle of trials, Pisces is on the threshold of a luminous phase, where intuition will be its most reliable compass and compassion, its greatest strength. Get ready to witness the transformation of your pains into an enriching learning, and your losses into a new beginning full of meaning. Before we proceed, I invite you to affirm your openness to this new phase. Please leave in the comments the following words: tuning in to the energy of prosperity and love. I open myself to receive the abundance and joy that the universe has in store for me. I trust my path and my intuition, and I know that I'm capable of transforming my pains into wisdom and my losses into learning. The transition to this era of renewal does not happen without a powerful catalyst. During the period that is ending, one planet in particular exerted its influence in a marked way on Pisces: Saturn. Known as the guardian of time and the master of karmic lessons, Saturn does not act by chance. Its presence is a call to inevitable growth, an agent that reveals what needs to be readjusted and harmonized in our existence. Imagine a rigorous but fair teacher who imposes challenges to ensure that their students reach their full potential. Or visualize an experienced gardener performing essential pruning, removing dry branches so that the plant can flourish with more vigor and beauty. This is the essence of Saturn's impact on the life of Pisces. He did not punish, but rather guided firmly, exposing weaknesses so that they could be strengthened and imposing limits so that the internal structure could solidify. For Pisces, the passage of Saturn meant a period of necessary confrontations with reality, requiring an emotional maturity that was perhaps not yet fully developed. Many Pisceans could echo the feeling of having been forced to mature quickly, to face responsibilities and to deal with the consequences of their choices in a way that was never seen before. This pressure, while painful, was the crucible where Pisces' true inner strength was tempered. The lessons learned under Saturn's tutelage are the solid foundation for the new phase that begins, an era where the Piscean sensibility will be anchored in practical wisdom and unwavering resilience. On the path of self-knowledge paved by Saturn, Pisces experienced a series of losses, often subtle but deeply impactful. Friendships fell apart, romantic relationships came to an unexpected end, and opportunities that seemed promising disappeared on the horizon. Think, for example, of that project that did not materialize despite all the effort, or that effective bond that was broken, leaving an inexplicable void. These were not random experiences, nor were they punishments. Each absence served as an intensive training, a laboratory to shape character, to refine the perception of what truly matters. The losses have forced Pisces to reevaluate their priorities, to recognize the ephemerality of certain connections, and to discover the inestimable value of what is essential. They opened spaces initially perceived as desolate voids, but which were, in reality, fertile fields for the emergence of new possibilities and for the re-encounter with one's own essence. The promise that is manifesting now is clear. What is gone will return, but in a different guise, loaded with a deeper meaning and aligned with its truth. Each farewell has prepared Pisces for greater receptivity, for a sharper recognition of genuine connections. Learning to deal with what has been lost has not only been an exercise in acceptance, but the key to freeing up the space needed for true growth and to welcoming the blessings that are on the way. The losses and lessons learned in recent years have shaped Pisces in unexpected ways, but one of their most intrinsic characteristics has always been at the center of this journey: sensitivity. This innate quality, often perceived as a burden, has become a significant challenge during the last 20 years. Pisces' extreme ability to feel, to absorb the emotions and pains of others, often left him exhausted, overwhelmed by feelings that were not his own, as if he were a psychic sponge in a turbulent ocean. In a world that often values logic and practicality over intuition and empathy, Piscean sensibility seemed like a weakness. However, the universe has a bigger plan. We are witnessing a global spiritual awakening, a cry for more connection, understanding, and healing. And it is exactly in this scenario that Pisces' sensitivity reveals itself not as a weakness, but as an extraordinary gift. People with this deep capacity for insight often find their purpose in areas that demand genuine empathy and a nuanced understanding of human nature. Professions in the arts, such as music, writing, or painting, allow Pisces to channel their emotions into beautiful and impactful expressions. In areas of healing, such as holistic therapies, psychology, or counseling, your keen intuition and natural compassion become powerful tools to assist others. Even in social or environmental service roles, Pisces' ability to connect with the pain of the world and act with kindness is an invaluable advantage. Recognizing and honoring this sensitivity as a gift is the first step for Pisces to take their true place in this new world. The journey through loss and the awakening of sensitivity are just one part of an even larger process: the intense karmic cleansing that Pisces has gone through. Imagine having the feeling of undoing old knots, of letting go of energetic patterns that extend through time immemorial. Many Pisceans felt as if they were somehow rebalancing invisible debts, struggling with toxic bonds that seemed to bind their spirit, and patterns of scarcity that persisted despite all efforts. The concept of karma, far from being a punishment, can be understood as an energy of cause and effect, a flow that seeks balance. For Pisces, this period was a call to release all that no longer served its highest purpose. This included deconstructing draining relationships, overcoming limiting beliefs about one's own worth, and dissolving patterns of self-sabotage. It was a work of deep purification, an effort to untie the chains that, consciously or unconsciously, kept them trapped in repetitive and painful experiences. Fortunately, this cycle of intense debugging comes to an end. The feeling of paying for something you don't remember dissolves, giving way to unprecedented spiritual lightness and freedom. Liberation from these old ties paves the way for an unimpeded future, where energy flows in a more harmonious way and aligned with the true Piscean essence. Paths of self-knowledge, such as acceptance-focused meditation and journaling reflection on patterns of behavior, are valuable tools for solidifying this new freedom and ensuring that the past remains where it should be, as a lesson learned and overcome. With karmic cleansing and the redefinition of sensitivity, Pisces is now ready to address another fundamental pillar of existence: prosperity. For a long period, many Pisceans faced financial blockages, feeling an invisible barrier between their dreamy spirit and material fulfillment. This difficulty was often accompanied by the limiting belief that spirituality and financial abundance are incompatible, as if one cancelled out the other, or that money was too mundane for such an ethereal being. That perspective, however, is about to be completely redefined. A crucial energetic shift allows Pisces to understand that true abundance is not just material, but a reflection of the harmony between the inner and outer world. Money, in this new paradigm, is no longer seen as a necessary evil or a distraction, and is now recognized as a tool, a flow of energy that can be used to create, assist, and expand. In order for abundance to flow naturally, Pisces is invited to align their financial actions with their higher purpose. This means not only improving the understanding of resource management, seeking practical knowledge to deal with finances, but also infusing every decision and every job with a deep meaning. When work is seen as an extension of passion and gifts, prosperity becomes a natural consequence. Examples of success in areas of social impact or creativity demonstrate that uniting spirituality and material fulfillment is perfectly possible. Having a clear purpose in what one does, regardless of profession, attracts the abundance that the universe has in store, allowing Pisces to manifest their highest dreams on the physical plane. With the harmonization of prosperity and the fluidity of energy, Pisces now finds the opportunity to look inward, to the most intimate mirror, that of self-esteem. For a long time, the Piscean soul faced distorted reflexes, as if the image it saw of itself was constantly diminished by the opinions of others and by its own insecurities. It was a period when external validation seemed to be the only compass for determining one's worth, leading to a cycle of relentless search for approval that often resulted in disappointment and diminishing one's own light. The peculiar sensitivity of Pisces, which absorbs the energies of the environment, has caused criticism or lack of recognition from others to be perceived in an amplified way, impacting their self-image in a profound way. This journey, however, was an invitation to an inner revolution. The era that begins for Pisces is about dismantling these deceptive mirrors and embracing the resplendent truth that has always existed at its core. It is time to understand that true appreciation does not come from external applause or acceptance from others, but from a deep recognition of the being that you are, with all your unique qualities and imperfections that make you human. A psychotherapist who specializes in self-knowledge could emphasize that the basis for unshakable self-esteem lies in the unconditional acceptance of oneself. To begin this transformation, a crucial step is to practice daily self-affirmation, consciously repeating phrases that nourish your spirit. Affirmations such as, "I am worthy of love and respect in my entirety," or "My essence is valuable regardless of external factors," are powerful seeds for reprogramming the mind. Self-compassion is another essential tool. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a dear friend in times of difficulty. Many people who have overcome insecurity narrate that the turning point was when they stopped comparing themselves and began to celebrate their unique journey, understanding that each individual is a particular universe. This is the time for Pisces to look in the mirror and see not a distorted reflection, but the totality of their beauty, strength, and essence. Rebuilding self-esteem, addressed earlier, is the cornerstone for Pisces to redefine their experience in love. For a long period, Pisces' natural inclination to empathy and sacrifice, coupled with their search for an idealized connection, led to chaotic and often one-sided love. Relationships where dedication was disproportionate, where the needs of the other always came first, or where passion was confused with a kind of emotional dependence, were common scenarios. Many of these unions carried the weight of karmic ties, experiences designed to teach, purify, and release patterns of behavior that no longer served spiritual growth. Now, the love horizon for Pisces expands, free from the mists of illusion. The time has come to definitively break with these patterns, to close cycles with relationships that exhausted more than they nurtured. The key is to discern between genuine love and emotional dependence. The first nurtures individuality and freedom, while the second imprisons in a web of needs and fears. A true and stable love does not diminish, but elevates. It does not demand excessive sacrifices, but offers partnership and mutual support. It is a love that adds, that enriches, that celebrates the individuality of both partners, rather than demanding the merger or annulment of one of them. To attract a healthy relationship, the self-love cultivated in the previous chapter is key. This foundation allows Pisces to set clear boundaries, communicate their needs and desires assertively, and recognize their own non-negotiable value. Practical tips for this new moment include dedicating yourself to activities that bring joy and individual well-being, strengthening genuine friendships, and above all, being open but vigilant to new connections. Remember that a happy relationship starts with the happiness you already find in yourself. The universe is orchestrating an encounter with a love that mirrors the beauty of your soul, a real, healing, and deeply reciprocal love. After the journey of letting go of illusions and strengthening self-love, Pisces is at a crucial point for the manifestation of an even more unique type of connection, the soulmate. There is an intrinsic belief, almost an ancestral knowledge, that this being is being prepared, or perhaps it is already close. Many Pisceans carried a faceless longing, a deep longing for a connection that transcended the ordinary, a void that no superficial relationship could fill. This lingering sensation was a sign, a harbinger that something great was on the way, something that would reverberate with the very essence of Pisces. The soulmate, in this context, is not restricted to just an idealized romance. It can manifest as a deep resonating friendship, a spiritual mentor who guides your path, or even a work partner who shares your worldview and contributes to your mission. The essence is the reunion with someone who recognizes and validates the totality of Pisces, who sees beyond the superficial layers and understands the richness of their inner universe. It's a connection that offers unconditional support, mutual growth, and a sense of home. This reunion is powerful and, for many, inevitable, as it is aligned with the new frequency of Pisces. To attract this meaningful union, it is essential that Pisces continues to cultivate self-love, as only those who love themselves fully can make room for the genuine love of the other to flow without expectations or dependencies. Being open and receptive does not mean obsessively seeking, but rather vibrating in the energy of gratitude and trust that the universe will orchestrate the perfect encounters at the right time. Be aware of the signs, the synchronicities, and trust your intuition. The one who recognizes the beauty of your soul is on the way, or perhaps is already closer than you think, ready to share a journey of light and deep understanding. With self-love cultivated and meaningful connections presenting themselves, the inner universe of Pisces becomes a fertile ground for new revelations. This is the time when the spiritual talents inherent to the sign begin to manifest themselves more clearly. Dreams gain a vivid intensity, carrying messages and glimpses from the subconscious. Synchronicities, those coincidences full of meaning that punctuate everyday life, become more frequent, acting as signs and guides that point to the right path. Intuition deepens, offering clear insights and an understanding that transcends conventional logic. These phenomena are not random events, but rather indications that the unique spiritual capacities of Pisces are being fully activated. The Piscean soul, with its intrinsic connection to the subtle domains, is invited to occupy its space as a link, a bridge between different planes of existence. This can mean an improvement in the ability to perceive energies, a form of mediumship that allows the capture of messages from other spheres of consciousness. It could manifest as energy healing, the ability to channel vibrations to promote the well-being and restoration of others, or even a keen symbolic vision, the skill in interpreting the hidden meanings in everyday events, in nature and in dreams themselves. To cultivate and strengthen these skills, practices such as intention-focused meditation, dream recording, and the study of esoteric traditions can be beneficial. There are several platforms and centers that offer courses and workshops on intuitive development and energy work. However, it is essential to remember the importance of ethical and responsible use of such capacities. The highest purpose is always service and compassion, acting with integrity and respect for free will. Pisces is being called to be a beacon, a channel of light and understanding in this period of transformation. The flowering of spiritual gifts often illuminates the deepest layers of the being, including areas in need of nurturing and healing. This process leads Pisces to a vital encounter, the need to heal the wounded inner child. The Piscean soul, from an early age, demonstrated an unusual sensitivity, an emotional openness that, in a world not always prepared to receive it, may have generated discomfort or a feeling of helplessness. The child who absorbed the pain of others, or who felt misunderstood in his way of feeling, may have created defense mechanisms that, over time, became obstacles to full emotional freedom. Healing this part of yourself is a crucial step for Pisces to reach wholeness. It means offering that younger version of yourself the love, validation, and protection that they may have lacked. Visualization exercises, where Pisces connects with this inner child, talking to them and offering them affection and acceptance, are extremely effective. Compassionate inner dialogues, in which one expresses understanding for past pains and celebrates the strength of survival, help to integrate these fragmented parts of the being. There are suggestions for readings and therapeutic approaches such as art therapy or gestalt therapy, which can significantly help in this rescue. It is imperative to point out that every individual has an inner child, regardless of age. It is the source of our spontaneity, joy, creativity, and also our vulnerabilities. Embracing this vulnerability with compassion, rather than trying to hide or reject it, is the path to lasting authenticity and emotional freedom. This reunion with one's own essence is a gift for the new era that is unfolding. The journey of healing the inner child and the activation of spiritual gifts culminates in the emergence of a completely renewed I in Pisces. This new being possesses a clarity and inner strength that no longer allows the acceptance of relationships, situations, or patterns that unbalance their well-being. There is no more room for disguises, for the suppression of the true essence, or for the incessant search for external validation. An authentic life that springs from within, without masks, is the new reality, a reflection of accumulated integrity and wisdom. This is the dawn of a golden age for Pisces, a period of exponential growth where the inner light shines brightly, driving expansion in all spheres of existence. Dreams that once seemed distant or belonging only to the world of fantasy begin to come true, manifesting themselves on the physical plane with an ease and synchrony that surprises. The 2 decades of trials now become a time of abundant harvest, recognition, and full personal fulfillment. It is a priority to exist in the now, enjoying each moment and accepting with gratitude what is to come, without excessive attachment to specific results. Faith and conviction in the perfect flow of the universe are now unshakable. Sustained by a deep trust in one's intuition, Pisces' ability to love and the indelible impact it leaves on the lives of others are incomparable. His journey transformed him into a memorable being, a living testimony of resilience, compassion, and a shining example of overcoming. I reiterate the mantra that has guided us on this journey of self-discovery. I open myself to receive the abundance and joy that the universe has in store for me. I trust my path and my intuition, and I know that I am capable of transforming my pains into wisdom and my losses into learning. I invite you to share your experiences and expectations for this new phase. May light and prosperity illuminate every step of your path. With the emergence of an authentic I and the realization of personal dreams, Pisces now experiences a deep integration of their spiritual gifts. Those talents that once manifested as fleeting glimpses or subtle intuitions now reveal themselves with definite clarity and purpose. The ability to perceive energies, mediumship, or symbolic vision are no longer just inherent traits, but powerful tools to be used for the greater good. The Piscean soul, which has always felt a connection with what transcends the palpable, understands that its place is as a link, a healer and an agent of transformation for the world. Your keen intuition and natural empathy, once sources of overload, become a firm guide, directing your actions to help and understand the collective. It is a call to service, where sensitivity ceases to be a burden and becomes a beacon, illuminating paths for those who seek clarity and acceptance. This can manifest itself in a variety of ways: in artistic creation that inspires and heals, in spiritual guidance that offers support, in counseling work that benefits from compassionate listening and insight beyond words, or even in actions in social or environmental causes where the deep connection of Pisces with all beings and with the planet translates into concrete actions of care. The responsibility that accompanies these spiritual gifts is embraced with maturity. Pisces understands that the authenticity of their gifts is consolidated by aligning personal growth with the well-being of the community. Your journey of overcoming and self-knowledge enables you to use these skills with wisdom, discernment, and above all, unconditional love. Sensitivity, once a labyrinth, is now the map that points the way to a positive and meaningful impact on the world. The full integration of gifts and the clear definition of Pisces' higher purpose fundamentally alter the nature of their interactions. The search for a romantic ideal or individualized soulmate, which marked previous phases, evolves into a broader and more inclusive understanding of what deep connections mean. Pisces, now secure in its essence, attracts and cultivates a community of beings with whom it shares an authentic resonance, forming bonds that transcend the superficial and anchor themselves in spiritual values and mutual respect. These new relationships are built on pillars of trust, honesty, and unconditional support. It's not just about romantic partners, but friendships that become a chosen family, professional collaborators who share a high vision, and mentors who enrich the journey. Each interaction is an opportunity for reciprocal growth where love manifests itself in its multiple forms, celebrating the individuality of each person while strengthening the collective. The lessons learned about emotional dependence and the importance of clear boundaries, which were so essential in redefining self-love, are now applied wisely. Pisces establishes healthy boundaries, ensuring that the exchange of energy is balanced and that each bond contributes to the upliftment of all involved. The old sense of isolation, stemming from a misunderstood sensibility, dissipates, giving way to a deep sense of belonging and being part of something bigger. These connections become sources of constant inspiration, platforms for co-creation, and safe spaces for the full expression of being. Pisces, once hesitant to expose his vulnerability, finds in this new circle a genuine welcome. The energy of these sacred relationships is a catalyst for the manifestation of your highest projects, reflecting the beauty of your soul and the power of your transformative journey. The culmination of this extraordinary journey, which has seen Pisces traverse unseen challenges, heal the inner child, and integrate their gifts, positions the sign as a beacon of hope and an inexhaustible source of inspiration. The story of Pisces is no longer a narrative of isolated suffering, but a vibrant testimony to the human capacity to transform pain into wisdom and loss into deep learning. Each scar becomes a map, each tear shed, a river of compassion that nourishes the journey of others. Pisces now guides not by precepts, but by example, radiating a light that encourages others to recognize their own inner strength. His empathy, once a burden that made him absorb the pains of others, is now his greatest virtue, allowing him to offer guidance and comfort with an understanding that transcends superficial experience. This ability to connect on a soul level makes for your advice to be deeply resonant and healing. The impact that Pisces generates in the world is subtle, but deeply lasting. Like the waves that spread silently across the ocean, your actions of kindness, your art that moves, your presence that soothes, create a ripple effect of healing and understanding. The legacy he leaves is not measured by material achievements, but by the spiritual and emotional transformation he instigates in each person he touches. It inspires the search for authenticity, the courage to face one's demons, and unwavering faith in a brighter future. Pisces finds a serene peace, a sense of wholeness that transcends any external success. The Golden Age, which seemed like a distant dream, fully manifests itself in his life, a flourishing garden of growth, love, and continual expansion. Their memorable journey becomes a living parable, proving that even after the darkest nights, dawn brings with it well-deserved glory and the promise of a true life.